Welcome to this week's video. We are installing the Racepak that I got. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I did a little sneak peek last week. I've been busy going out of town for work, so I haven't had time to record anything. I already installed it, did all the main wiring. So if you look at this, you got power, left turn, right turn. I did the parking brake is up there, and the high beams were actually in the gauge, but I don't really care. I know if they're on or not. They were deleted back there, so I would have had to chase it down there, and yeah. All this tack, 5-volt, all that we're not using. The can high we're using, and the fuel level, can low, and ground. And then the rest I just pulled out of the back. So that's what this is. Can high, can low, and then this is a digital pulse input from the Speedo that also needs to go to the Haltech. So I'm just gonna install it and then show you the finished product. I've got to go to a drift event in 2 weeks, and in like 3 days I have to leave for West Virginia for work. So I'm just trying to get it done versus you know, taking longer and filming everything. All right, there it is. 78, 42. Yeah, close enough. The boost, I need to change that on the setup, but we'll get to it. But there it is, all installed. I was getting ready to take a picture and post it on Instagram. I forgot I'm a vlogger, or, you know, try to sometimes. But we're still getting the car ready for St. Louis this weekend for the drift event. My buddy James is drifting in his 240. And so we're going to take this car, but I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, St. Louis. The best time I've done in the Integra was 5 hours, 20 minutes. Sure, I could do better, but that was just doing 10 over, and I stopped like once for gas. So, not really super breaking the law, just normal. It's about 520. I'm sure you could get it under 5, even under 4 if you really sped. But, anywho, the point is, it's a long drive. So, I don't really like the angle of it from here. It just kind of looks incomplete. I'm sure we could box that whole area off, but that's going to do what I'm wanting it to do. So basically, even with the heat wrap, just that tile itself, you know, that's not wrapped, that's all heat, fire going through there. But the dump tube was right there. The aluminum housing, which is the Willwood base itself, and the custom bracket we made, both of those are staying substantially cool. Arguably it's even colder than the intercooler. Actually it is, no argument. So I ordered some fans. We're going to put some fans on there and take care of that problem too. It's just too hot this summer. But basically this plastic tank was overheating, and I doubt y'all believe. I think it still feels fine. I just was worried about that overheating. So what we did was just made a little bracket and bolted it. It's on there quite well. And then what I was going to take a picture of is I was tired of the wheel fitment on the car. The front, I'm not too worried. It's a little in, but when you're turning, I'm already hitting. So we're going to change tires on that later. But if you look here, that's almost my knuckle. That's about how much it's in. So Yeah, almost that much, because my finger was curled when I was bending it. If you come over here, that's what it is now. And see the offset there versus there. So what we did, since I have the same wheel, of course, that's the spacer I was running, that's the spacer we're running now. Now it looks good. It looks really good fixing that fitment in the rear. So you got that. And then we come over here. Yeah. And then when we go to the 255, it's going to be a little meatier. It's just going to look good with those Falcons on there. There's some meaty tires. Falcon and Zenith. I did the little Haltech sticker, and you guys can barely see the HKS. HKS has been there for forever. This is the gauge again. Got it all programmed. Fuel works, all that works. I'm finding my keys. We could actually start it right now, but I don't know if I'm done working, so I don't want to fume out the garage. But I have the battery disconnected. This is Haltech. So it's reading absolute on the PSI, so it's showing 14.3. Our water is 99 degrees. Oil pressure 0, mile per hour is 0. We haven't mounted it yet. It's just sitting in here. It actually likes being in there. Gets a good reading. Then our fuel is 16. Fuel was pretty easy. They actually had a calibration for most imports, Japanese cars, and it actually was one of those. So still got the Haltech mounted right there. Should be a pretty fun drive. You know, I've driven 5 hours before. You know, on that last video, it was like, I think close to 2 hours to drive out there. Then we drove for about an hour or two and then drove back. So that was 5 or 6 hours, but I was shutting it down and letting it cool off and all this other jazz, so. But I think I'm gonna turn the camera off, quit filming, and I'm gonna take this tire back off and take this other side off, and we'll go and get the tires mounted, and then show you that in the morning, and then probably just take it easy. I have a leak to fix, but I really don't want to. So, I don't know if I'm going to. About to go get these mounted. Okay, next day. We already got the tires mounted. Look at those. Look very meaty. And then we have that spacer just semi-mounted. We need to finish mounting it. You see how big that one is. Makes that thing look tiny. So we're going to mount the other spacer, mount the tires, and then I need to do an oil change. Then we'll kick this out, and I got to bring my G37 in here because the brakes are gone. They're like metal on metal. Here it is all mounted. Already got the oil changed. I don't think that's really too interesting. It's my little AC invention with a little roll around AC. But Yeah, you can see I have some oil leaks. A lot of that's residual. That hasn't been cleaned yet, but you can see how meaty those 255 Azenas are. So, I'm gonna show you first start. I don't think I've done that on camera yet. So, I just keep the battery unplugged just in case something's draining it. I don't want to show up and have a dead battery. Pretty quiet on first start. Can't tell how loud it is, but we're gonna pull this out and take it up to toy speed. But in St. Louis, Missouri, got the drift car. You're gonna have to forgive me. I keep forgetting to record any of this stuff, but I took the old steering wheel off right there. Here's some hints. We got they gave that to me. I don't know if everyone gets it, but prepare to be amazed. Look at the difference. So we went with GripRoyal. It's the one I've always wanted. It's Keys, GripRoyal, or Nardi. Those were the three. I'm biased. My middle name's Royal, so I'm always gonna pick Royal. But I've been waiting for almost a year for this mint green stitching, and it finally got in stock, so I pulled the trigger and did the gold center button. Looks so much better than the fucking green. We are also doing this turbo inlet gasket on the manifold. It is so blown. You can see the black right there. And then if you look at this hose, it melted, because like all of from here, you can see it's kind of shiny right there, all the way up is melted. It didn't puncture the rubber, but it melted that cloth. Obviously it's not cloth since it melted, but yeah, it was pretty bad. It was still making boost, but it was definitely sluggish. I thought it was because we put those bigger spacers on, which you can see, but I really think it's just a big ass boost leak. So this company, I bought another one so I could have one in stock, but it's a stainless steel and it actually is multi-layer. It's looks like 4 or 5. See if it will zoom in. Yeah, there. So all that's stainless, the outside is folded over, and then that's your seal. So the outside ring is actually the seal. It was like $11 free shipping. It really wasn't bad. Let's see. Hell if I even know where the other gasket is. That's so much shit. Oh well, got all that out. Anyway, it seals to the back. So what I have to do now is go ahead here. Now you can see the heat shield with a light on there. It's just a spacer, 2 spacers honestly, and then a nut bolted back there, and it's ran through that first hole. It looks just like that. It looks like this hose, whew, man, you got crispy all the way out to here. Should be okay, but it's a good thing I quit driving it. That hose looks like it's the only one that needs to be replaced. Still looks clean, so turbo's not blown. Okay, I worked a little last night. I came in this morning and got it finished up. As you can see, still really clean. And you can see that's also the OEM manifold. That's how they look as well. They're not port matched at all, really. That's looking mighty white in there. I think we maybe run it a little too lean. No oil though. That's just the valves though. In here looks quite rich. So I'm not for sure about that. But maybe it's just heat. You know, because all that's rich as well, but then you have that ring right there. That's great. That's gonna leak. But you can see right there. I don't know if you can. No, not right now. But the turbo was literally wiggling around. There's a little homage to the rotary that was in the car. It had a B&R stage 2 turbo. Or stage 3, I think. Oh, there you go. You can see the gaskets just blown out entirely. But back to the point. You can see they're a little off. Right there. Right there. I think that's the worst one right there. The number 1's pretty good. You can see that's the actual lip, not that black in there. So maybe right there, but I think that's more of a leak. We come over here. Yeah, you can see that top little edge look like it bled over. So we could actually benefit quite a lot by port matching everything. But again, like I said, those ports on that DET manifold match this, and you can see same issue. All of that was not touching. This was not touching. These are better, except for that one. That's what is that? That's the front. So this is number 1. You can see number 1 was really bad, where now number 1's good. Number 2 was good, and number 3 kind of. Actually, you can see that right there. But anyway, the point being that neither manifold is port matched, and the gasket on the VET was just as bad as what it shows on the block or on the head. So yes, you'll gain tremendously by port matching everything, but that's not a VE issue. it's a SR issue. But anyway, we're pushing some power just on 15 pounds. So I'm really not worried about it. We're going to build, this is the first block over here. The one that was bad when I got it. It's still, it's dirtier now than what it was. I'm trying to see if there's still some bearing on the side of the wall. Yeah, right there. You can see the number 3 bearing. It was a bad oil pump, and it looks like they just changed the rods and pistons and didn't clearance any of the bearings, so it was bound to happen. Anyway, this is the only mod you have to do to run it on the rear-wheel drive. You just have to notch the block right there where the old starter went and notch it for the DET rear-wheel drive starter. But that's it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to box that up and send it off to MazWorks. The MazWorks is going to sleeve it, bore it to 90 mil, and so we'll be 86 stroke, 90 bore. Then I have another head. We're also, or no, I'm not. We're not going to build that head. What we're going to do is build the block. We'll do probably 10 or 11 to 1 compression pistons. We'll put this head on here, which again just has the springs, the DET Brian Crowder springs, and then all OEM stuff. We'll run that for a while, and then I'll just save up. We'll do the power gains on that, and then we'll save up, and then we'll do the full head. We'll port and polish, we'll port match, we'll do the Crawford or Kelford cams, and all that jazz, and then see the power gains from there. I will eventually be going to a G25 550, but we'll be running lower boost. I really don't want, on kill mode, maybe push 500, but in the Toge, 300 is a lot. So we'll have it on scramble boost and stuff like that. But I'm gonna go, because I washed the car and we have the scoop literally goes right into there, and it looks like all that water is, and the heat of course, but I know water hurts that heat wrap a lot. So what we're going to do is go get some DEI paint. We're going to paint it, and I got to go pick up a toolbox from Toy Speed and a couple other things, so then we'll come back and we'll finish up the job. Just one more look because I'm so happy. It looks so good in there. Changes the whole deal. I'm going to order the center console next. It's like $200 for the plastic piece that's missing. I'm going to take the carbon fiber that was for that and replace this wood panel. And then I'm debating, Tomei just came out with a new shift knob. It's Duralin or some plastic shit like that. Kind of like my motor mounts down there. Can't see. Yeah, those. But it's kind of off black. I think it will look better than that white one. Plus, we'll get rid of, I want you to look in the car and be like, oh shit, that's not a normal shifter. But that white's really not working with my interior. So, I don't want the black Nismo, because those are knockoffs anyway. So, the Tomei is quite affordable. It's like $40. So, I think we'll go ahead and do that, pull the trigger. Clean this interior up, get it ready for some car shows. Okay, so we pulled everything out. I replaced the gasket. That's what's left of the old one. You can take the rotary out of an RX7, but it still does rotary shit. Like, it doesn't matter. So I was shooting fireballs, and it completely blew out this gasket, as you can see. So we already put the new one on. I also finally went and got some DEI high temp silicone coating, and so We coated that. We coated the manifold, so now it's black again instead of that faded white. Copper sprayed that. You can see the new gasket down there. It was copper sprayed as well. I also painted the downpipe. I didn't do anything too fancy. I just kind of covered everything and sprayed it real fast. Then the hose that was burnt, we just kind of made it a little smaller right here. I just stabbed it. We have the drain line connected and that's it. Nope. Okay, just finished. I bled the brakes again because we had a little air left in the system, and just got that all put back. As you can see, that silicone spray brought it back to the black that it was supposed to be. And then we kind of put a little random swirl pattern and kind of cleaned up the heat shield a little bit, made it permanent. That was just a mock-up to begin with, but everything's installed. We actually swapped out the spacers, took the fronts off, which were 1/2 inch, put on the 3/4 inch spacers. It made a little difference. I can tell by eye. Fitment's a lot better now. I can accept waiting on wheels with the better fitment. Doesn't look too shabby. Added some stickers. Got the GripRoyal and the IDs. And there you go.